Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to this Nightbird video. No new QR codes or anything that I'm aware of. This is just thoughts and theories, but we've got some really good stuff, including a new tattoo for Joe Gacy, which is really interesting. We've had a tweet from Alexa Bliss, which is really interesting, and lots of other thoughts and theories as well. So we're going to start with this picture because this is the talk of the town today. Is this Alexa? We don't know. This could be someone that looks really similar to Alexa, someone that's not the biggest of people, right? Quite small in stature, someone that's got blonde hair. I mean, it could be someone that's visiting one of the wrestlers, a family member, a friend. There's always people around backstage. Could be someone that works in makeup, could be someone that works in the wardrobe department. Like, it really could be so many different people that are backstage, but looks wise, yes, they look really close to Alexa and could be Alexa, right? Alexa did put some up on Instagram. She posted it a little while ago now. I think it went up a good like 19 hours ago or so. So I don't really look at that as an indicator that she wasn't at the show. Plus also, I don't know that when she posted it, that was when she was actually out with her friends. So I don't know that that is something that we can really use as evidence that she wasn't backstage, right? So I don't know. I really don't know. But Alexa has tweeted on this, right? She's put a message out here. Madara, shout out to you saying, are you sure? Because Alexa says, I don't know her. So Alexa's come out saying, I don't know who that is. I don't know her, right? Now, I was thinking she could be lying, of course, but she could be telling the truth as well, saying, I'm seeing what you lot are saying, and this is what I've got to say on it. I don't know who that is. So it's really difficult. I mean, the big thing is, why would she be backstage? Why would they fly her in just to have her stand around for the briefest of moments backstage? And certainly when we're not expecting her to debut until closer to SummerSlam, right? So, like, she is meant to be a long way off from coming back at the moment. So I just wonder if maybe it's either not her or she was visiting Triple H and having a chat about creative and actually, you know, come down to Raw, like, we'll have a chat and all that kind of stuff. You can, you know, catch up with the makeup girls and wardrobe and blah, 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 right? And so that's what she's done. She's come in, she's had a meeting with Triple H, she's catching up with some people she's not seen for months, and then she's either got caught with the camera going past, or it's been the case that they've said, why don't you go and stand in the background for this Sheamus entrance? Because if people see you, there'll be a big buzz. If they don't see you, no harm done. So it could absolutely be that. So unfortunately left in the dark. Right here we've got Mosh saying, I've watched the most recent Howdy and noticed that the figure in the chair has got a blonde streak of hair, and so does Taylor Howdy. I'm never wrong. Take this as concrete evidence. This is Howdy. I love that. I love that. I think Mosh is just having a bit of fun there. Concrete evidence. I wish there was more concrete evidence, to be honest. So here, look, we've got this creature, this person with a slight blonde streak in the hair, right? And again, just pointing out that that is something that Bo has as well. I really like it. I like it because I remember the earring when we first saw Howdy being a big talking point. People were like matching up that Howdy had an earring very similar to how Bo has an earring there. And so, you know, now we've kind of got the similar thing going on with this little blonde streak as well. So I do like it. I would say Bo is the person I'm leaning towards when it comes to this creature character. And we've actually got a good picture here thanks to Eddie H24. What is this? I mean, I don't know about you. I can see that blonde hair, okay? A lot of people have got in touch to say that looks like an eye, meaning the other eye would be here, meaning this would be the nose. And this could either be the edge of the mask, or I'm wondering if it's a little bit of a moustache. I'm wondering if there's a bit of hair that's coming down here, right? And that these are eyes. Maybe the other eye. Maybe there's like hair that's covering up here as well. But I do look at that as that appears to be on the face. It's either the edge of a mask that's maybe just catching the lights. People have said it does remind them of what Bray wore at Royal Rumble 2023 in the pitch black match. And I think that's a very interesting point, because it could be that the mask is about that big. And it just sort of goes round the head rather than like all consuming. Because I believe Bray put a mask on at the end of that match that was about that big. And I could definitely go with that. So it could be something like that. Or, you know, I do wonder if this is a bit of a moustache. Again, just being obscured by a bit of hair there. And if this is the Howdy mask or an updated Howdy mask. Again, we don't know. We don't have the pleasure of concrete evidence, unfortunately. But this is probably the cleanest image that I've seen of it so far. Just to annoy you even more, right? Like, we don't know if Alexa was backstage. We don't know what that thing is that sat in the chair. Just to annoy you even more. Something that we did think we knew, we might not know anymore as well, right? Do you remember Nikki Crosses' house? And the theory was so good. She's got 2 dogs. The sofa felt like it matched. All that kind of stuff. Well, Rob Fee has posted something which has caused drama, right? So here, Kaylin, thank you. So this was, I thought it was an image, but it's actually a video clip. You can see the TV. You can see the computer. You can see the units. Very important, right? Because that's probably the best thing to match it up with. And if we actually go over to Rainerius, you can see the TV, you can see the wall color, you can see the PlayStation, you can see the units. This is the same house that we thought was Nicky's. Rob Fee is in that house, right? He's in that house. And he's not just like showing earlier in the day, or at least we don't believe he is, because what he's actually doing is he's going on to 2K24 and he is showing us the QR codes. He's showing us the QR codes is actually in the game. Now, we know that it only dropped in the game the other day. I think, didn't it drop in the game just yesterday on Monday? So that would mean that Rob is in this house yesterday, Monday. So this hasn't been recorded at the same time they recorded what we saw on Saturday. Unless he's got like special access to, you know, that QR code being in the game early or something. But I doubt it. He seems to just fire up the game as normal. And then he goes to the QR code. So to my knowledge, that didn't drop in the game till Monday. That means, is this Rob's house? Is this Rob's house? And someone else pointed out, like, how interesting that on Saturday they show us 2K24, and then on Monday we actually get a code in that game as well. Like, we are starting to see some connections between the QR codes. As well, on Saturday, we had that reflection in the window, and we couldn't work out what it was. There was the theory of, is it a missing person thing for the therapist? There was the theory of, is it a Nikki Cross screensaver? And because we thought this was Nikki's house, the Nikki Cross screensaver felt like a pretty good bet. But then, of course, yesterday, Monday, on Raw, we got the QR code where we saw the therapist saying that she was fine. And that now looks to be what was reflected in the window. It looks like it was that news report, that gossip news report of the therapist being fine. So we were sort of shown it a little bit on Saturday, and then we got it on Monday. We were shown 2K24 on Saturday, and then the code dropped in there on Monday. It's really interesting. These codes, I wonder if they are all sort of connecting in a weird way. Certainly it could be that way going forward. And I think that might explain the ring picture in Monday's Raw QR code. That ring, I believe, is one of those doorbells where you can actually, like, you've got a camera and you can, like, see, like, through from the doorbell. like who's coming to your house. And there was a tease of that. And I think that that almost certainly is what we're getting next. I think we're getting a video. I think it's going to be footage of that doorbell, that ring doorbell, because we are seeing these connections. But bigger problem, if this wasn't Nikki's house, then whose house were we in? And who did Uncle Howdy visit? And why did he visit them? Because it doesn't help answer that question, does it? I mean, we thought that he'd visited Nikki and then he was going to move on to Rowan and he was kind of working his way down the journal list. But it doesn't seem to be that now, because we don't think this is Nikki's house, or there's now doubt. He didn't go to Rowan in yesterday's QR code. He could go on Friday, and maybe that's what the doorbell footage is going to show us. But yeah, it's kind of thrown things up into confusion again. It'd be really good if we had some concrete stuff that we could just anchor things on. But we don't, and it sucks. William said, you mentioned that 1119 might refer to Undertaker's match that was recorded and played later. All the videos we're seeing now, is that not the same? Oh, I love that. So William is making the point, if you didn't know, the QR code the other day, I think it was the URL, wasn't it? That was www.com/1119. And the point I made was we've seen that number before. And the leading theory last time, which doesn't need to be the leading theory this time, but I do like it, is Undertaker, his debut. That was on the 19th of November. And what's really cool about it is that that's actually not the first time most people saw him. Most people saw him at Survivor Series, and that was a few days later. But he had appeared before then. I think it was on Superstars, WWF Superstars, and it was a recorded match. Didn't air till later in the month. So they recorded it, and they didn't show it till weeks and weeks later. But that was technically his first appearance in WWF, and that took place on the 19th of November. And I just really like it because we're talking about the arrival, the debut of this new group. And they're dark, they're mysterious. Like, you know, the OG of that is The Undertaker, certainly in WWE. So I think that for him to have a little reference and his debut to have a reference just seems to make a lot of sense to me. So I do like that. But I like what William's saying here. The fact they recorded that match and showed it later, is that not what we're doing here with a lot of footage that has been recorded previous that we're only seeing now? You know, a lot of stuff here we know happened in the past because of the fact that these order of events seem to be a little messed up. We're seeing notes being delivered, and then later on we're seeing those notes being written. Well, surely you've got to write the notes first. So the order's all messed up and everything. So I like how William found that connection. I thought that was very, very good. And then the last one we've got here in this, I think you need to know about this stuff, is this Kaylin again, killing it. Says, to me, it looks like a bed on the right, and I completely agree. This here does look like a bed, right, in green. You can sort of see like the cover, the pillow. This would mean that we're in her bedroom, right? And if she's in there with Howdy, well, can't wait for that video. But here, look, we've got the beds, we've got the pillow. Here, this is what I think a person, or what people think is a person, right? But here you can see that Kaylin's gone, I think it's a bedside, like, cabinet. And I think you're right. I think you're right. I think we're looking here at the beds and then like a cabinet with something on top. That in red is the reflection of her phone, right? I feel good about that. I'm sure everyone's in agreement with that. This blue thing here feels like maybe the reflection of a window behind. Don't know. That's a bit tricky. It looks big, doesn't it? Is that a wardrobe? Is she sort of like sat back? Is there a wardrobe here and a bed's over there? Or is that like the reflection of a window or something? I don't know. I think the fact it's always seemingly there means that it might actually be an object like a wardrobe. Blue, what did you say was in blue? A dresser. I mean, I don't know what that is. But for me, maybe a wardrobe. So, yeah, you kind of look at it and go, well, hang on, where's the people then? Where's the people? If that's a bed and that's a bedside table, that's a reflection, that's a dresser / wardrobe. You know, I am interested in if there's something here, but I mean, there's not much to get your teeth into there, is there? That, it was the one for me. That was the one that I always sort of looked at. That was the one that I felt was in her way. But you're right. Now that you sort of look at it, you go, actually, it probably is just a bed and then a cabinet next to it. So really interesting. I think that I just don't think you can study this enough, the reflection. I think that it's definitely worth kind of digging into that and going frame by frame. If I can get chance to do it, I'll have a look myself. But Kaylin is killing it. I mean, we've got different colors and everything, just like the Teletubbies. So excellent, excellent work. So that was the important stuff. Oh, I love this. So here, this is the unimportant stuff. So here, look, you can see that I got this from Cryptron11. Says, has anyone Shazammed the journal? Right? Love this because I did it and this is what came back. So, you know, the music that's in that journal, I Shazammed it and I promise you, this is the result I got. If you do it yourself, I trust and hope you will get the same result. But I got this result. You can hear it, right? It's called Voith, and it's by, I don't know if that's the band or the song, but it's Source and Voith. It's only had like nearly 3,000 Shazams, right? Not many. But it is very similar. You can see why it detected it. You can see how it found it. It's not identical. It's not the track. And I, to be honest with you, don't think that they intended this to be found. I think it's probably more likely that any music that's going to sound as dark and as strange as the music that they're using is probably going to have a dark and strange artwork attached to it. But come on, puppets! Come on! I mean, that is insane, isn't it? That is insane, puppets. I do think this is a coincidence, to be clear, right? I don't think there's anything to this. I don't think this is a hidden message or anything like that. I do think this is just coincidental. But come on! So that was like, when I found it, it was like, oh my God. So yeah, brilliant suggestion by Cryptron11. Brilliant. I don't think it's led us to anything personally, but well, it's led us to some fun. Let's put it that way. Right here, look, we've got Matthew saying Joe Gacy put up a new profile picture, and he did. It's a TV similar to the Funhouse. Where am I? Is a question he's been asking. He's kind of trapped within that Funhouse TV. I mean, it might not be the Funhouse TV, of course, but it's similar. If you was to pan out, you know, it's that kind of old school technology. Tubes and valves and whatnot, right? So yeah, interesting. I don't know what we can take from that, but we'll have a look in a minute at a new tattoo that he's got as well. Here's Cop for Life. Said I might be digging a bit too deep, but the picture of the figure in the chair has got a cross in the reflection here. Look, yeah. And apparently it looks like this, the cross of Lorraine. And apparently this represents quite a few things, but one of the things is freedom. It represents freedom, which I thought was kind of really interesting. I don't know, again, that they're trying for that, but lots of these little links being found. Here's Cop for Life saying, I think I can spot an eye around here. I mean, the other eye, they're kind of leaning down, I think, here with the hair. Yeah, it's really cool that. I think we did a good look at that but it is really cool. And it is worth mentioning as well, people have said the toy has gone here, right? But it has been pointed out that that toy was actually a little higher up. I think, you know, you've got the mirror, the low end of the mirror here. So actually we're quite low. I think the next shelf might have like the snow globe, and then it might be like the Pokemon toy. But I have had people go in, oh, the toy's gone, the toy's gone. But we think it's just because we're lower. Right, here's Taming Pasta. Right, Taming Pasta. I'm going to make that big. I'm going to bring it in. So here, he said, I think I can rule Nikki being the bride. A remember who you are letter was delivered to the bride. The letter can be seen in the images from WhatsApp. Right, so we do have that there for those that just want the reminder. It says the images have got the exact same candles that we use, so you can see the candles. You can see the candles. In the WWE.com 1119 video, we can see someone place this letter. This is also the exact letter that was shown to be placed outside the cabin and on the Twitch stream. Although the person in the Twitch stream had this pre-written, I don't quite get that bit. The second letter written by the person seemed to go to Nikki. This was aligned perfectly with Hex, not the one that was delivered to the bride. Again, don't quite get that either, right? The bit that I'm struggling with is that we saw 4 notes getting written, and I feel confident that they were to Nikki, Dexter, Joe Gacy, and Erick Rowan. Feel good about that, right? So if the bride did get one of those notes, then that surely makes it more likely that she is Nikki. So I wouldn't say that rules her out of being Nikki. I would say it makes it more likely that she is Nikki. Unless we are looking at... I mean, that's actually something I've not done. Look at the envelopes when the remember who you are is written. And then try and match that with where they're being delivered. I've not done that, right? So that's actually an interesting shout. That would be an interesting thing to do. And maybe that is what Taming Pasta has done. But I've actually looked at this a slightly different way. And I've said, well, what if this isn't a note being delivered to the bride? I get the connection, right? But what if this isn't a note being delivered to the bride? What if what we're actually seeing here is the group coming together? So the group have all been summoned to this location with candles and everything around. And their invitation for entry is their remember who you are letter. And maybe part of the ceremony of this group coming together is they all put their note down in front of them onto a provided wooden block. And so actually what we're seeing is we're seeing the members coming together with their invitation, placing it down in front of them. So rather than this being a delivery, it's actually a clip of the moment they are all coming together. Which I can't sit here and say that's what's happening, of course. But I do like that as a thought and as a theory. So, yeah, I just love the work of Taming Pasta. I think Taming Pasta is looking and searching and not settling for stuff. Just like Kaylin as well. I mean, there's so many people that are just going back through those old codes. They're seeing what connections they can now find. They're, you know, messing with the brightness and stuff in the kind of dark patches of videos. You know, as I just said, we could go back to that Twitch stream, look at the envelopes as they're written, then start to match those envelopes with the envelopes we see being delivered. We would then know whose cabin that is, wouldn't we? We would know, well, that must be, we think that note was to Erick. This was Rowan. This is the envelope that was written. That is the same envelope, and it's being delivered to that wooden cabin. That cabin is Erick Rowan's. And that would probably be a good piece of work to do. So, Taming Pasta, love the work, my friends. Love, love, love the work. Right, let's unwhoosh this and go down, because here is the tattoo. So Crimson said, I ain't saying it's related, but him having a door tattoo and the right and the left ones being big bad wolves. So you can see the big bad wolves. We've got this creature in the middle as well. Just a really cool tattoo. I think doors, obviously, very, very interesting. But yeah, just really interesting, this. I don't know that it's connecting to what we're doing right now, but doors definitely make you think, don't they? Because they have featured quite prominently. And I look at that, and I know it's probably a dinosaur or something, but I do look at that and think, is that a reptilian? Because they were mentioned It's probably not. It's probably a dinosaur, but yeah, even so, reptilians were mentioned, weren't they, by Bray? So there's quite a bit there that I think you can kind of pick at, but I don't know that it'll necessarily lead us anywhere. Here's Rob. Xenial. So this Xenial, there is a definition of it being like, you know, something to do with generation of people, right? It's kind of a mixture of Gen Z and millennial and something like that. So there is a definition of this word being used for that, but it has other meanings. And so Rob just letting us know that this is basically means hospitality. It means friendly, hospitable, welcoming, very cordial, right? So you are disposed to treat guests and strangers with cordiality and generosity. So that's what the word means also. So yeah, very interesting that. Very, very interesting. I think that that was in the latest journal entry. And yeah, that was one which probably did need a little bit more work to it. So Rob, appreciate it, my friend. Right, so the ring, just talking about that Pokemon thing we touched on earlier. Adersh said, sorry for tagging you in this one again, but I find it really interesting. No, feel free to retag me, because honestly, I'm struggling to, if you've got something that you're like, oh my God, Daze, you need to see this, right? Tag me in it as many times as you want, right? Because eventually I will see it, but it's just so hard at the moment, because the only way I can describe my social media is like, I feel like a guy with a bucket on the Titanic. That's how I feel. I feel like the water is coming in, like the ocean is coming in, and I'm here with a bucket trying to desperately try and get through my notifications, right? I mean, this Nightbird thing has just, well, you know how big it is, right? So again, I keep saying this because I do worry about it. If I don't get to your comment, it is not personal, and I could understand it being frustrating. Certainly if you've got something like, oh my God, this is so good, people need to know. I want to know, but I just can't see it because like it's non-stop, man. So tag me as many times as you want. Tag me as many times as you want. Dash says, on the other side, there's the question and answers, right? This is really interesting. I think Scott makes the same point. So Dash and Scott, they're on the same page. You'll see why that's a good joke in a minute. So here, right, we've got the journal, okay? So this apparently was the dream journal that was found. And you might remember that these entries go from 2008 going all the way down to 2024. Well, this stuff is right at the top. So we're probably talking 2009, 2010, somewhere around that ballpark, right? I'm under the impression, though, this dream journal was when they were young. It was written when they were young. It wasn't written in 2010. That's why the drawing and the writing is all quite childlike. I'm under the impression this was done when they were young. But even if it wasn't, it would be about 2010, because that's where it is in the order of that website, which we are told is in date order. It starts at 2008, goes down to 2024. So you work your way down, right? And it's quite near the top, isn't it? This journal, these pages, right? These things, you might remember them. Well, we've got indentations in them. You can change the contrast, change the lightness, and you can sort of make out other writing that is either on the other side of these pages, or it was like written and these pages were leaned on. There's indentations in these pages, right? And what's really interesting is this is the question and answers from the therapy session. Why would they be in the same book? How would indentations of questions and answers from a therapy session, which seemingly happens following Bray's passing, right? So definitely happened after Bray had passed away, right? I think we can agree on that. And so, you know, we've got to be talking late 2023, early 2024. We don't quite know when they happened, those therapy sessions and the therapist being kidnapped. We don't quite know when all of this played out, but I think we can agree it was not back in 2010, Yeah, it was like 2023, 2024. So why have these dream journals, right, allegedly from back in the day, got this indentations of the therapy session on? For me, there's one of two things here, right? First of all, it could be a botch. It could be that they bought one book, you know, that book that's got the trees and the red dots, you know, the therapy book. It could be that they bought that and they just used that notebook for all of the kind of clues and things that we've been seeing, right? So, you know, the dream journal, right, we'll use this for that. And the therapy session will use this for that. They've just got this one notebook and people have dug into it so much. We're now seeing some of the other pages kind of leaving marks on other pages, right? That could totally have happened. Or maybe what we're being told isn't the truth. Maybe that dream journal, I found my dream journal, maybe it wasn't found. Maybe that website doesn't go back to 2008. Perhaps the write-ins are all more recent. Perhaps that website has only been constructed recently. Yeah. Which I think we know it in actuality it has, right? But what if in storyline Howdy is kind of going back and, I don't know, like painting the picture he wants to paint, telling the story he wants to tell? I don't know. I mean, there's every chance this is just a botch. Every chance. But I do think it's really interesting to think of the other explanations. And that could be that, you know, it's all been done at the same time by Uncle Howdy. And he's done it all at the same time on purpose. I don't know. It's really interesting. I'd like to know people's thoughts on this. Probably a botch, but it is fun to think of other explanations. But either way, amazing work by Scott and a Dersh. Just something to make you aware of. Michael was adamant that that was Molly Holly as well, Alexa Bliss. And I did go, is it? Because I looked at a picture. She's quite small. She's got a similar body type. Her hair is different, but I don't put much stock into that. You can change your hair color, hairstyle pretty much whenever you want. You can buy a wig, right? So I don't really put a great deal of stock into hair. But it is true. I mean, normally she has like short black hair, and this person obviously had blonde. And yeah, I don't know. I looked at it and I was like, oh, I'm not sure. I don't think so. But I retweeted it and I was like, thoughts? What do people think? Most people came back going, nah. But there was the odd person going, yeah, that's a good shout, actually. She is a backstage producer. For the record, I don't think it was. Leaning towards it being a friend or someone that was visiting. Or it being Alexa. I mean, I'm really 50-50 on it. Right, here, look, we've got Isabella Blair, right? I saw the video on Nightbirds. I don't think people have seen this, so I'm going to include it here. I couldn't remember if we mentioned this, to be honest. I couldn't remember if we'd mentioned it. It gets really confusing because we have such big conversations on stream that when I come to do a video and I'm talking away, there are times where I go, have I mentioned that in this video, or did we talk about that on the live stream? And there are moments where I'm like, I just don't know. I can't remember if we've touched on it or not, so I don't know, to be honest with you. I know that this was spoken about, but I don't know if it was in a Nightbird video. Hence why I've included it here as well. So, Isabella, shout out to you. We've got this reflection in the window, which we thought may have been Nikki. But, I mean, you look at it now and you go, yeah, it was that, wasn't it? It was that. I feel good that it was that. I mean, that all blurry and then reflected in a window. I mean, this is like, I don't know, 1p. Like, it's nowhere near, like, not even 240p, is it? It's like 1p. The resolution of this is garbage. Atrocious. So I am looking at those and I'm going, yeah, that just feels too similar now. Still feels like there's, I don't know, it's hard in it. The face, there's just no features here whatsoever. So I don't know if this is like a glimpse into the future and we're going to be seeing this again in the future, but next time she'll be wearing some sort of mask or something because there's just no lips. Like, how can I see the glasses, but I can't see the lips? Where's the mouth? Well, I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, I do feel that, yes, I'm with you. But how am I not? How can I see the hair color? How can I see the edge of the glasses, but I can't see the lips? That bugs me. That bit bugs me, but I do see the connection. I do feel that that is what that is. But there's still a big question mark around it for me. It bugs me. God, I hate Nightbirds. Tristan said, the front door video camera. Could this be a future Twitch stream? Yes, 100%. 100%. I think it's a brilliant shout, buds. I think that with that 2K stuff, we're seeing the connections from one QR code to the next. And I think that that's what this will be as well. So, you know, we are kind of connecting the QR codes. We are kind of telling this story. We are following the thread, if you will. So, yeah, completely agree. Modern Mogul said, during Elia's entrance, the therapist was shown she was upside down. So there we go. There was an image that flashed up on screen, and it was upside down therapist. Very, very good. Louise here about the Xenial. Thank you, my friends. Touched on that. David Dorsey just pointing out this 6 in the background, which, you know, if ever there's a 6 in the background, people are going to get excited. Is there something to it? Maybe. I personally don't think so. But that's only because, you know, 6s are going to appear. They are something that, you know, exist in the world. So, you know, Randy and other wrestlers, they are going to walk past the number 6 at times. And if every time they do that, like, I can't sit here and say that every time they do that, it's a clue. So it is true, though. They might have looked at this and gone, oh, should we have Randy walk by the loading bay 6? Or should we have him walk by that big 6? Because that might get people talking. They could have done that. They could have done that. But I don't know. This one, I could watch the show, see this, and not think anything of that personally. But listen, someone did, and it's led to this, and I thought there was enough in it to show it to you guys as well. Oh God, I love this. I love this. Cold Beastly said, I was watching the video and I noticed the ad boards here. It looks similar to a distorted picture in the 2K24 QR codes, but just maybe a different angle. Now, you know, there's this big theory, which I love, that this is the fountains at Corpus Christi, right? Here, look, you've got these jets of water, and then we've circled this board here, right? So that's Cold Beastly that's looked at this. I mean, this doesn't look like anything, does it? It looks like static. Again, I could see this and go, just not even pay it any attention. But I do love how Cold Beastly's looked at this and gone, hang on, they look like those jets. He's then gone back to that picture and gone, yeah, that could be that bit there, actually. If we take the picture here, we would get the jets. And we would get like that in the background. And obviously we can't see what's behind here, but is that what that is? Is that the jets that go round? And then you've got like that there, which is like this over here. I really love it. I love that connection. The way that we got to this was because of the shirt. I think, wasn't it Ennis Mommy that pointed out the fact that on the shirt it could be water jets kind of coming up, little fountains. And then obviously from there people got in touch, like Larry got in touch saying about how there is one of these fountains at the venue that Raw is going to be taking place on June 17th. So again, if you didn't see our other Nightbird video, have a look at the latest Cave Bird shirt. You'll see some, what, you know, could be jets of water. And then here we are, June 17th. We keep getting that date loud and clear. And here are these jets of water. So really, really interesting. I love anything that's going to connect to this. Anything. I don't want forced connections, but anything that connects to this, you've got my attention. And this, brilliant. Yep, love it. Sign me up. Because they do look like water fountains as well. If nothing else, this connects, in my mind, to that shirt. If nothing else, this connects to that shirt. Because this like these jets at the bottom, they are what feature on that t-shirt. Rob Fee, like the post I made, said erase your mind, and this was the post he made. So the American Bank Center, Corpus Christi, open book bronze statue. So open book is symbolic of feminine gifts and a call for peace. A woman standing proudly as she offers an egg, bit strange, a lotus blossom and a fish, better, in each of her right hands, and a ring. Oh, I'm not ready for that kind of commitment. A bowl and a book in each of the left hands. So apparently this is something to do with symbolism of feminine gifts. A fish. Good luck trying that next time it's your wife or girlfriend's birthday. Yeah. Here's a feminine gift. I've bought you a cod. Wonderful. Well, anyway, look, Erase Your Mind has posted all about this, and it was liked by Rob Fee. There we go. And Erase Your Mind, I believe, was hidden in the latest QR code as well. I think, wasn't it like some reference, like star maps? And that is a big topic that Erase Your Mind has been talking about. So just amazing work. Brilliant stuff going on at the moment. Daniel said, here's the Pluto. Again, there's that fountain. Here's Corpus Christi. Here's the arena where Raw will be on June 17th. And look at this. Here's a Pluto. Wow. Daniel, brilliant work. Brilliant work. The way that they can use all of this on June 17th is going to be so exciting. I feel just like these fireworks, I tell you. Let's go. Taming Pasta again. Taming Pasta said there seems to be a recurrent quirk of the person writing the journals. They pen the alphabet Y in a mirrored way. So here, look, again, another link with the writing the answers to the Y's that was in the therapy session. You can see like the Y kind of is a straight line and then it comes off like this. So it's like that, right? Apparently they do it here in their answer in the therapy session, and the same thing in the dream journal from when they were younger. So again, another, not only have we got the indentation of the pages, but we've also got the same handwriting between the two. So very, very interesting. Very interesting. And here, two pictures of floppy disks. I'm old. It says 144 MB. Yeah, so we were trying to work out what this said. We couldn't work it out. But big shout out to Musey OG. Musey, thank you. Working this out that if you flip it and make it a bit cleaner, it says 1.44 MB. So a bit of a dead end on that one. But listen, I love dead ends because anything that's going to give us an answer, I'm here for it, right? Colin said that mask we couldn't figure out. This is an Erick Rowan tattoo, and it does look a lot like that long mask that we couldn't figure out. It is true. It looks very similar to like a Bludgeon Brother mask as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if what that is Uncle Harper. If that is a tribute to him using like the Bludgeon Brother masks. I could definitely believe that. Here's Winning Reality says, in case you missed it, here is the audio you're interested in. It sounds to me like I see you, bird, or I see you hurt. It's definitely I see you and then something. Let's have a listen. I feel like it's I see you running from me. I don't think it is that, but I can just hear something more than, say, bird or hurt. It sounds like it goes on a little longer. I see you running from me. I see you hurting from me or whatever. Like, I'll play it again. Listen, let's see what you think. Can hear that me. And this is our last one. So Alan said, might be a coincidence, but 11/19 is the death date of Emma Lazarus, who wrote the new Colossus. That is the poem on the Statue of Liberty. Love that. Love that as well. Great profile picture. Yeah, so that was when the person that wrote the new Colossus passed away. Listen, this went way longer than I thought, and we didn't even have a QR code, so I hope you enjoyed it, though. I enjoyed it. I thought there's some really good stuff in here. I do need to run away because I've got other streams and things that are building up, so just want to say a big thank you for all the support. Again, if you've got something and you're like, oh my god, please see this, tag me in it. Every hour I will see it eventually, right? And just know that, you know, it's a fight trying to get to what I can get to. It is nothing personal, but appreciate all the support. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.